one's missing. Just know that I came to every evening, spoke to everybody. When I needed you to come, you said no. You didn't make the story even. A story even would believe in. Make up your mind, are you waiting? You got your ticket, waving it around in my face like your opinion. You're lost in your decision, due to your position. You want everyone to listen, instead you chose to stand. I don't have the time to wait. You better find another way. I never understood you overrated. You're overrated. Listen to me closely. When you get lonely, please don't call me on my phone. I'm listening. You can make up your mind, baby. You got your ticket, waving it around in my face like your opinion. You're lost in your decision, due to your position. You want everyone to listen, instead you chose to stand. Don't cry, you lost a good one. Don't lie to me. I so done with everything. You got your ticket, waving it around in my face like your opinion. Oh, I made my decision, it's about time you listen. Paid me no attention, so I had enough. Please don't call me, don't call me on my phone, yeah. Please don't call me, don't call me on my phone.
All right, folks. You were just listening to Ross. You Were Never There. That is a local artist out here in the Northern Neck, Tappahannock, Middle Peninsula area. It is Ross with a period at the end. You can find her on YouTube and all platforms, and of course, all day, every day on Hot Mix VA Radio. We are sitting here today with Reverend Linwood Blizzard. How you doing, sir?
I'm good, and yourself, sir?
Doing great. Good to see you here again. Welcome back.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Appreciate you having your time. We had a little technical difficulty last time you were here, but we're gonna make it work this time.
All right.
Yes, sir. So we want to let the people know that couldn't really hear you last time. We want to start off with just who you are, what brought you to the area. Just introduce yourself. Let people meet you, sir.
Hi, I'm Reverend Linwood Blizzard II. I serve as the senior pastor of the Macedonia Baptist Church in Heathsville, Virginia, Northumberland County. But I come tonight to Hot Mix VA with you all listening on the radio to let you know I'm running for the House of Delegates, the 99th District. I came here to the Northern Neck 6 years ago. Though I came here 6 years ago, I'm Virginia born, Virginia bred. My family is out of Surrey County originally. I'm from Williamsburg, Virginia originally, but I moved here as what I was called here by the hand of God, literally. I can only describe it that way. Based on everything that's happening in my life, it was all a certain way, and God said, I need you to come to this place right now for this particular time.
Yeah.
So God called me to the Northern Neck, the pastor of Macedonia, and I came here with a lot of vision for what I believe God was saying to the people. A lot of people may not have agreed with what we were saying at that time, but a lot of people were happy.
Right.
A lot of people were upset.
Right.
So I always stood for justice and what was just and right for the people.
Awesome.
So I'm standing before you now 6 years later, seeking your support, running for the House of Delegates here in the 99th District on the Northern Neck, inclusive of Northumberland, Lancaster, Richmond, Westmoreland, Caroline, half of Caroline, and King George counties.
Okay, awesome. So you were called here. I was thinking last night or in the past couple of nights that I remember pretty much the month that you arrived. And I remember meeting you and your family. You had come to the Y. To learn about the organization and the community, see what we had to offer, things like that. So we had a conversation, and I just remember meeting you, and I did think positively of you at the moment, and it's good to see that you are still here making an impact in our community. and we're thankful for that. We need people that are willing to take those steps to bring about change, to push things forward that are already in motion.
Right.
And so we would like to know here at Hot Mix VA, and for our fans, what is it for you that makes you want to be involved here in the 99th District?
To be involved in the 99th District, for one, is not just to be involved in the 99th District, but to continue the involvement.
Okay.
I come before you as one not who's starting to get engaged because I want to run for office, but one who's going to run for office because I've been engaged the whole time.
All right.
Exactly as you said, when I got here, I was trying to find information and I wasn't trying to be involved. I was trying to be a community leader and a community advocate.
Right.
There's a distinction between wanting to be involved and wanting to make change.
Okay.
And I was one who came with the call in my life to desire for change and watch change happen. Part of my involvement and engagement I found are critical issues or the things that affect us, and what matters most to us: jobs, the economy, education, and all things that surround us are things that matter to us. This is work that we have done here on the ground with you, collaborative organizations. Even last summer we did it in the park in Warsaw.
Yep, we did.
We've been doing this, so it's been ongoing work. So we're trying to engage this in a way that doesn't just be a conversation about change or a theory of what we could consider doing or what sounds good to the voter, because everybody likes something that sounds sweet on their ears.
Right.
But we're going to actually talk about how we're going to actually turn that work into actual policy and change that can be transformative for our community and also lives.
Okay. Awesome. So, you mentioned the organization, the event actually that we were a part of last summer. Us here at the station, we always try to be involved in the community organizations.
Absolutely.
And I can attest that for you, I've seen you throughout the summer. That was one event that you mentioned, but we saw each other at many events, last year, throughout the different things that, gathering of people for different purposes, to motivate, when it comes to, just changing the area. Even when it was last spring, maybe late winter, when we were, at the courthouse in Northumberland, and we were there, and we were pushing about change with law enforcement. So that's something that that I've seen you do there. And so not just that, but what are the things in the community that you're involved in now that you will continue to do, if you're able to have the delegate position?
Well, I will continue to obviously be the pastor of Macedonia. Number one thing on my life is to be a pastor. And pastoring transcends the four walls of the church in Northumberland County, to think of it as larger as caring for the people. So my spirit is to care for people, to hear what they need, and to do all we can do, not just me, but what we can do as a community to make that transformation. My plan is to continue being involved in organizations. I'm not going to just all of a sudden get elected and forget all the stuff that has to happen.
Right.
I'm very much rooted in the grassroots organizations. Organizations such as the Boys and Girls Club of the Northern Neck. I serve as the first vice chair for the regional board. Macedonia Community Development Corporation, which for some have heard before, part of the Girls Empowerment Camp. I'm board chair for that organization. We also do a lot of work with River County's Community Foundation. I sit on that board. It's a lot of boards I sit on across the region, which has been a lot of boards that have been able to move a lot of capital across the whole Northern Neck, as well as mobilize people to get involved. One of the great challenges which I've realized is that there's a gap between what is happening in our political world and in our local level organizations. Many times what happens on the local level does not match what's actually happening in the actual political world. So this gap causes a problem for us where we are actually missing the point in the move. I'm looking to find a way to bridge that gap, not only through engagement, but also through policy in various ways. Things we were fighting for on the local level. We're fighting for wage equity. That's a policy issue. We're fighting for infrastructure changes. That's a policy issue. And it's not just infrastructure changes that affect some people, but that which affects everybody across the whole region. But also some localized issues. We know there's flooding issues down in different parts of our region. How do we begin to affect that? How do we begin to affect how our roads are? How do we begin to affect how our education systems are? Those are policy level issues that I have sit in the conversations on, whether it's a parent who's struggling with their student, whether it's the school board trying to make a decision, whether it's a board of supervisors, whether it's a regional planning district commission. I've sat at all levels of those conversations, on multiple levels, and I'm interested in taking that to the next level at the House of Delegates. I don't plan to stop being involved. I'm planning to continue to be involved.
Right.
I'm interested in leveraging all these partnerships, and most importantly, building future leaders to come forward.
Right. Okay. Awesome. So you also are involved in a new program, right? Like a tutoring program that you're putting out soon.
Yeah, it's already out. It's part of an educational effort. I know one of the great challenges for many of our parents is they struggle with making sure students are staying on board. We know the school year, we know a lot of people are at home now celebrating students because school year is about to end in the next few weeks.
Right.
But some people are not celebrating because look at the amount of work they got to do before they finish the school year.
Right. Okay.
So our aim and effort with this initiative is to find a way to help students to be able to organize their information and be able to get the assistance they need. It's one thing to be able to get your help for English reading or something. Another thing to think about the 40 assignments you got to get caught up on.
Right. Yeah,
so we started this work as a collaboration with the Northern Neck Baptist Association, for which I chair the Committee on Justice, and MAKE, which I mentioned earlier, as a collaborative effort across a total of 6 facilities across 3 counties of Northumberland, Lancaster, and Middlesex. And that effort has been opened up to help students to get their stuff in place and position. You can find out more about it at email info@macorp.org, info@macorp.org for all the sites, a lot of locations we talked about earlier.
Yes.
But the big thing about it are success stories. One of the greatest success stories we've heard was a student was 20 assignments behind on their work. And what happened was they came into one of the centers that we set up for them, and they get and the people at the facility helped them over 2 days get fully caught up. So what we're looking at now in terms of how does this impact what's happening in the larger picture as we go into the next legislative year, how do we create policies to really address the achievement gap, not in a punitive way but in a constructive way? How do you create policies to make sure that we are creating full equity for our classrooms and our communities through how we offer services?
Right. Okay. So educational component is something that's really important to you, it seems, in this situation.
Oh, yeah. I mean, education is important. Education, I know, as many people have seen it as the gateway out of many different spaces you have in your lives.
Yes.
But I myself am not just coming as one who hears about education. I'm actually an educator. I serve as the teacher for calculus at Northumberland High School. Okay. And I also am the faculty sponsor for the Math Honor Society at the high school.
Man, you stay busy.
I mean, I'm engaged in what's just thing that make things happen. But part of it is realizing that education is still truly a gateway.
Yeah.
And it's not just about having knowledge about what's happening. It's about applying that knowledge to better those lives around you.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. So, and so when last year, one of the events that organization that you were involved in was a part of, I noticed that you all had voter registration, sign-ups there. So is that something that's also, part of something that's important to you? And could you tell us how we could get the people to know how to vote now and register to vote and things like that?
Absolutely. Voter registration for me is absolutely critical. I completely support all ways to make voting easier. Okay. Voting is treated at this point as a privilege, and it should be a right. Okay. In fact, we should look at ways to make voting easier and accessible, such as considering people being able to vote as soon as you turn 18 should be automatically registered to vote. Yes. Different ways, because we're just because by not making voting more accessible, we make it seem like we don't want some folk to vote. Okay. Which means if people can't vote, that means they can't have a voice, and without a voice, people suffer. So what we're looking at is how do you expand voting? First, the one thing is for voting, if you are not registered to vote right now for the primary is on June the 8th. All right. Early voting has started on April the 23rd, just last Friday, 1 week ago. Okay. But you need to go, you can register to vote by May 15th. You go to your polling place, you go to your registrar's office, not your polling location, not where you go in November, but where you go to register, the general registrar. There's one registrar per county. Okay. And have some information come out about that on our site in the coming days also about that. So you'll have that. In addition, the restoration of rights, which has been an initiative for several years for those who have felonies in Virginia. And historically, if you have a felony, you've been disenfranchised from voting. Please take a look at that. We have a whole conversation on why we had the system set up like that. But Governor Northam has issued an executive order which kind of removes that whole process. So it's easier to get registered to vote. You don't have to go through this whole restoration of rights. See our website for more information on that, or look at elections.virginia.gov for more information.
Yeah, that's good news. So there's no reason not to vote. You can register to vote now early. There's different things that are available for people that have lost their rights to be able to get your rights to vote back again. Again, he said it's a right to vote, not a privilege. That's something that's very important. Voting is important. We got to push these opportunities to be involved in policy.
It is, and early voting happens every weekday, usually between 8 to 5 or 9 to 5, depending on registrar's office hours. You go during the day. And the last 2 Saturdays before the election, they'll be available to vote.
Awesome.
So.
Awesome. Yeah. So plenty of opportunity to get out and make an impact. And again, right now, voting in the primaries is equally important as voting in election time later in the year. We have to vote throughout the year. It's a process. If you have more questions about that, you can find people like the gentleman here to learn more about the whole voting process. I'm sure he'd take some time to get you registered and to help you understand the process if you need to. So that's just great. I think that the fact that we're able to vote early and not just wait on that day, being that the pandemic and everything is going on, that is very important right now.
It is. I mean, voting needs to be able to be accessed. It's not only just the day it's accessed, but also how you can vote.
Right.
So I'm also interested in looking at legislation on how do you make it accessible for those who are physically disadvantaged, as those who are blind, have access to early voting. That's part of this larger push of voting. I think for us, we have to find ways to make it easy. We many times are blind about what we already have. You got to think about those who don't have what you have. How do they get access to it? That's how we become we the people. That's how we become a commonwealth.
Awesome. So, you got a chance to get in front of our people here at Hot Mix VA. How can they, if they want to join your campaign or be a part of your campaign or push for what you got going on, how can they access the Blizzard for Delegate campaign? Or I heard you mentioned also that you're going to have an office opening up soon as well.
Yeah, we're having a celebration, actually a birthday party next week also, as well as an office opening celebration. He's filed on Facebook and on our social media feeds. We're going to do it. It's going to be at 8518 Coppell Highway in Hague at the OBB&T office. We're going to be there.
Awesome.
We're going to have a celebration, a good time. Come on out, learn more about what's happening. Learn more just about voting. Learn more about what's happening in your community. Learn how to be engaged, not just in the Blizzard for Delegate campaign, but in the Youth for Your Community campaign.
Right. That's awesome. So check them out next weekend. You can also go to blizzardfordelegate.com.
Blizzardfordelegate.com to learn how you can be engaged with us, support us, whether you're giving financially, giving of your time and support. Blizzardfordelegate.com. Everything you need is going to be right there for you.
Right.
And you can get some yard signs too if you need yard signs.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Yeah. We want to spread the word for you for sure. And also, what is that website for voting? What's
Elections.virginia.gov.
Elections.virginia.gov. All right. So. Thank you, sir, for coming back. We really appreciate you always showing support here at Hot Mix VA. We wanted to definitely give you the opportunity to get in front of people, do it the right way, and we love to welcome you back anytime.
Absolutely.
We see that you brought some of your family here. We appreciate you bringing them in.
Got the crew with me.
You got the crew with you. You got to keep it going when you're as busy as you are these days, huh?
I got to bring them out. I got to bring them out to show that how we spread the message goes across all communities.
Okay.
It's not just large fundraisers or down on the street. It's also the radio, and it's also the very thing we may listen to when we're sitting in the car. Because Hot Mix VA is definitely on my station.
Awesome.
I'll tell you that for sure.
Good deal.
I tell you as a pastor church, this is the station you should also listen to. This is the hip hop station for the region.
Yeah. You hear that? See, he listens to
I'm a hip-hop
Mix VA radio. He listens to hip hop. He listens to us. And if you want to listen to us, make sure you go to Hot Mix VA radio. Listen on the radio station. You can download the app Live 365 and check us out. Search Hot Mix VA radio. We're on that station. You can listen to us on our website. Go to www.hotmixva.net and make sure you check out Mr. Blizzard here. And we out.